Hey gang, we're going to be looking at something completely different today. I promise you, you're going to want to see this. Stay tuned. Hey gang, it's Paul from Fat Guy Productions coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And I get a lot of questions about the different kinds of shirts I wear. So like today, we're sporting one of my favorite federal organizations, NASA, the National Aeronautics Space Association. And so I thought I would talk to you about my shirts. More specifically, how I make my own. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, what I'm doing here right now is I'm putting together a brand new stand for a brand new vinyl cutter. And the reason I'm doing that is because my old one had a piece break. It's infinitely repairable, and I probably will repair it at some point. But I really thought it was probably time for a new vinyl cutter. So I ordered this new vinyl cutter, which I will tell you about in detail in a little bit. But right now, I'm just going to get this thing up on the stand and make sure it's all set up. And I'll start taking you through the process I use to make t-shirts for myself. All right, so let's get this thing up on the stand. Okay, so what this is, it's a computer-controlled cutter, and you feed heat transfer vinyl into it, and it will cut a design into that vinyl. You weed away all the excess, and you're left with a heat transfer. So this is an integral part of making shirts. There are other ways to do it: screen printing, buying pre-made transfers, like the old school t-shirt stores, things like that. But for being at home and making simple shirts or something like that, this really is a way to go. This is from a company called US Cutter, and this is the SC2. It's actually very affordable. It has a lot of really nice features, and like I said, the MH721 I got from the same company lasted me 15 plus years. So, considering it's I'm sure China built, it had a pretty long life with a lot of usage. So this is one of the things that you're going to need to do this. But I guess I get ahead of myself. I just wanted to get this set up. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning, the computer. Okay, so I'll discuss equipment and stuff as we go along. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is you're going to need some sort of computer and some sort of application to work with vector images, EPS, Illustrator files, anything like that, SVGs or what have you. I'm using a Mac and I'm using Adobe Illustrator. And right now, all I'm doing is searching the internet for a logo I want to use. And in this case, I really kind of want a deep purple logo. Now, there are all sorts of pieces of art out there. And if I can find one that is already in a vector format, then I will just go ahead and download that, because it is the easiest way for me to get what I want. And then all I have to do is tweak it and scale it, and I'm all set. But I don't have to rely on that. I can absolutely use Illustrator to create the logo from scratch in a vector format. And I'll briefly touch on that in a little bit here. But right now I'm looking for a logo. I'm finding all sorts of vector versions of the deep purple logo. And when I find one I want, I'll go ahead and download it and take it over to Illustrator. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and open Adobe Illustrator, and then I'm going to import the deep purple logo into it. And that way I can take a look and make sure everything is right and the way I need it to be for cutting out into a t-shirt. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it up a little bit just so I can see it a little bit better and work with it easier. And zoom in on that. And so here we can see the logo. And it's not perfect. I could certainly do a better job than that. But, you know, this is just a quick version of this, and I just want a shirt. So, you know, I'm not going to stress out over this. Now, as a quick example, here is a logo for the band Rush that I like. And all I want is just the words. I don't need all this stuff in the background. And I couldn't find any good EPS or Illustrator files or vector files or SVGs of this. So this is just a high-res JPEG, and I've placed it into my, my Adobe Illustrator here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to trace this. So after placing the item in here, I've locked the image so I can't impact it in any way. And I'm going to choose my little pen tool and a contrasting color for the lines so that I can see what I'm doing. And basically by clicking different points and dragging those points out to make corners and curves and whatnot, I'm going to just trace this entire logo and make my own version of this as an Illustrator file, which I can then cut with my plotter. Now, this video is not intended to be an Illustrator class or give you any of these total details. I may do other classes on this and other videos on this, depending on how much you guys like this video. But for right now, I'm just trying to give you an overview of what it takes. And so I'm going to go around until I'm finished and just trace out this entire logo. Okay, so I've finished tracing this, and what I can do now is I can unlock the original image and delete it, and all I'll have left is the vector version of the image that I've done. Okay, so there's the vector image of the drop shadow and the letters, and I've unlocked and deleted the background, and there it is. That is now a vector image that I can use, I can easily change, I can easily scale, and pretty much do anything I want with it. Okay, we're getting ready to now cut this out of vinyl, and you saw the cutter at the beginning of the video, my SC2 from US Cutter, and what I'm using here is Shure Cuts-A-Lot 5 Pro. Now, US Cutter provided me with version 4 of this app, but my computer is one of the newest ones, and it wouldn't run that one, so I paid the extra to be able to upgrade to version 5 so that everything would work right. So I've opened up Shure Cuts-A-Lot, and now I'm going to import the logo that I'm going to cut. And for this case, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this AC/DC logo. So one of the first things I'm going to do is rotate it and flip it. It's vital that you remember that all of the things you're going to cut for heat transfer have to be cut out backwards, okay? Because they're going to stick down the other way, and so you've got to flip everything. Now, if you're making a sticker, you don't do this step. So I've got it flipped, and you can see the representation of my vinyl there, and I'm placing this and scaling it, and now I'm ready to cut. So I open up my cutting panel, and this has a white border around it, so I'm going to turn off white. And now I'm just going to tell it, just cut out the black stuff. After sending the job over to the printer, just takes a moment, and then all of a sudden the cutter will spring to life and start cutting out my design. It's a pretty fascinating little process. What it's doing is it's cutting through the heat transfer vinyl, but it's not cutting through the carrier behind it. So the carrier behind it keeps everything together, and it's a pretty impressive little process. Now you can see something like that, something that simple as the AC/DC logo goes fairly quickly. So now I can come over to the printer and just cut away the piece of vinyl with the cut logo in it, and then I'll take it to a nice quiet place with a little room to work, and I'll weed the image out. Alright, so we've run this through the cutter, and what it did is it cut through the heat transfer material, but not through the backing sheet. Okay, that's how precise this thing is. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use some scissors and trim away the excess vinyl, and then we're going to do what's called weeding. Okay, so just get rid of this excess piece here. Alright, get rid of some scraps. It's looking pretty good. Now weeding, depending on the vinyl you get, can be either a real pain or pretty simple to do. It really is going to kind of depend on the products you choose. In this case, I use a pretty high quality product. Stahls makes good stuff. This is called Fashion Film by Stahls. It has an adhesive carrier. And so even if I do accidentally weed something off that shouldn't be, I can stick it right back down. It makes it a lot easier by being sticky to weed complex images, although this is the AC/DC band logo, and as logos go, it's not really complicated. So it's not really a big challenge to weed this. The biggest part for me sometimes is just trying to see the cut lines in the vinyl, and so you got to have some pretty decent lighting. And you can see if you had a big complicated job and you were doing like 100 of these things, this is probably not the best solution for how to do this. But all I'm doing is making one shirt for myself. Even if you're doing team uniforms, it's really not that much, you know. Okay, so here is my transfer. Now you notice that it looks correct here. That's because I'm holding it the right way for you. This is the sticky side that will go against the shirt, and it'll get pressed down at the heat press, which is in my garage. So all we need to do is grab a t-shirt, this transfer, go to the heat press, and in a few more minutes we're going to have an AC/DC shirt. So let's go do it. Okay, so here I am at the heat press finally. Okay, we're about ready to make the shirt, and this is called a Fusion. This is made by a company called Hottronics, which is a subdivision of Stahls, and this, I dare say, is the Rolls-Royce of heat presses. You don't need anything this elaborate to do this. They make lots and lots of heat presses, and at all price ranges. What you do need is you need this, which is a nice big platen. That's what this is called. You need adjustable temperature and adjustable pressure. Okay, so here's my pressure knob, and in this one it's computer controlled, so it's got the time and the temperature and everything preset for me. Now it also reminds me it needs a number 5 pressure, so I can just do that, and I can see that I'm at a 5, and I'm good to go. Okay, so we are about ready to go ahead and press our shirt. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bust out our shirt, and this press is called what's called threadable, and what that means is that I can thread this on here. So I can take it and I can thread it right onto the platen like so. I got it dirty while I was handling it, but I'll show you what we're going to do about that here in a second. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's square and equally spaced out, And we don't want the collar on the platen, so I'm going to pull it back this way until the collar is off here. That way we'll get nice even pressure across the shirt. Now we're going to bust out just a sticky roller, just to kind of get rid of stuff. Oopsie, roll the other way. I have dogs, and so I want to make sure I don't have hairs in here or anything like that. Okay, so now I'll just realign this. Okay, try to find the center point right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a preheat, and what that is going to do is it's going to draw any moisture out of the shirt and warm the shirt up to help it take the press of the print here. So it's already set for how long it needs to preheat. So all I have to do is lock it down, and it will count down. It's going to count down 10 seconds. Here's 2, 1, 0. I'm done. I can open this up now. All right, so now the shirt is ready for the transfer. And here's the transfer we made yesterday. Okay, and it's been weeded and it's all set. Now I just need to get it on there centered. So I kind of just use my fingers and I want to put it on centered and level. And then I also have a thing like this here. There's little tools that you can get to help you with this stuff. And see, this just kind of sits here at the center of the table here. There we are, we're lined up in the center, and I can see them 5 and 5, so yeah, 5, I'm just about right. So I can move that out of the way. All right, and because this is all underneath this little plastic thing, I don't need a protective sheet. So what I'm gonna do is, I like to do it a little bit differently. Instead of pressing it all at once, I'm going to press it for like 2 seconds. 1 1000, 2 1000. I'm going to open it up, move this out of the way. I'm going to peel the carrier right now because I like to get this out of the picture before I lock everything down. That way, if there's a problem, I can adjust it. Okay, so that's thing here, that's dirty, so I don't want to use that. So I'm going to throw that down there and get a fresh, clean one out. And this is just a piece of paper that will protect the print. And then I can swing this over here. And now I'll lock it down, and it's going to take 15 seconds to just permanently attach this to the shirt. And as soon as it's done, I'm done. All right? It's that easy. Now, granted, I'm doing it a little bit differently than I would because you guys are here, and so it's taking me a little bit longer, but you'd be surprised how fast you can crank this stuff out when you're really working at it. And there you have it, my brand new AC/DC shirt, okay, to be seen in a future video. So that's really all there is to doing the heat presses. All right, let's go back upstairs and we'll talk about this. All right, there you have it. An AC/DC shirt made just for you. And it is a wonderful thing to have that tool in your toolbox. I can't tell you how nice it is for things like family reunions, sporting events, Halloween, or just to make a one-off shirt on a fabric that you like. Whatever the case may be, it's a great thing to have. Well, let's start with this one. Just a different colored shirt. This is a Queen News of the World shirt. And this is just a different material. This is called Premium Plus. It's a really nice material. I happen to prefer fashion film, but this is a good film to have. And so, again, you don't have to just have white. There are a lot of colors out there that you can turn to. Okay, well, do I just have to use one color? No, you don't, okay? Here is a 2-color heart, the band Heart, shirt with pink and red, okay? And it's as simple as cutting the different pieces out, and you press one piece, peel, press the other piece, peel, and then you do a final press to lock it all down, and you've got a beautiful two-colored shirt. So, multiple colors, absolutely. Okay, so, can I go more than two? Oh yeah, you sure can. Here is a 3-color REO Speedwagon t-shirt. And not only is this 3 colors, red, white, and silver, the silver is a metallic silver. So they have metallics, and they even have things like chromes and stuff like that. But here is a 3-color shirt, just, you know, to show you, you have a lot of range in what you're making. So, you know, you're not totally restricted to just one color. Now we're going to get into some really cool stuff, okay? All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is, okay, this one is a single color, but I wanted to show you this because look how big this design is, okay? This is the Ramones, and not only do you have the size, look at all the detail in here, okay? Let me put this down here for sure to make sure you can see the detail of this. But this is a testament to the weeding ability of this fashion film, that I was able to pull all this detail and get all the scraps and weed it all away with very little trouble whatsoever. So you don't have to have the most simplistic shirts in the world. Yes, you can do some pretty complicated stuff. Alright, so let's put that one away. Now, we're going to get into some other fun stuff. Okay, let's do this one here. This one, I love this one. This is the band Boston, and look at that, okay? Does it look like gold, okay? Well, what it is this is a printed material, okay? So it's like fashion film, but they print on basically a plain white material. They print with a solvent printer, and they put this design into the roll. You buy however much of this stuff you want, and then you place your art in here however you want, and you cut it out, and this is the effect you get, and it is amazing. And this looks like something you would buy in the store. It really does. I mean, it's pretty amazing. But we can go further than that. Okay, so we can pair that with like a border or a second color. So here I'm using a gradient material. It's printed gradient material from black to purple, and then I surrounded it with some white fashion film to give it an outline. So now I've got this really complex looking t-shirt that you just never imagine in your life that it could be done on a heat press. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is this. This is a CAD print from Stahls. And basically I submit my art there. They print and cut these out and mail them back as ready to go transfers. One single layer. It's all printed. You have the full range of colors available to you. I got like 10 of these for 25 bucks. Okay? So it's just amazing to me what you can do. Now, okay, so some of you might say, well, I'm a silk screen snob. I only wear stuff that's silk screen. Well, guess what? You can heat press silk screen. Oh yeah, you really can. What they do is you can place your order, and they silk screen on a release material. And the silk screen ink has a special little extra oomph to it that is an adhesive. So they print on this release material, they let it dry, and they ship it to you. Now, anytime I want a silk screen shirt, I take that piece, I put it on my shirt, I heat press it, the adhesives bind that to the shirt and release it from the carrier. I can peel the carrier away, and I've got a silk screen shirt that I made right in my garage. So the possibilities of what you can do with this are endless. The budget can be low, the budget can be high. You have so many options. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I've kept you long enough. I've given you a taste for this. If you liked this video and want more of this type of video, never before in your life has it been more important to watch this thing, to give it thumbs up, to click subscribe, and to make any questions or comments down below, because that is going to make it for me to determine whether I'm going to make more videos on doing shirts and apparel and things like that. So please make sure you do all of those things, and don't forget to click the little bell so you get notified anytime I release a new video. Alright, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions. I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, happy, fulfilling day full of laughter and fun and really cool rock band t-shirts. Until next time, be good.